YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna show y'all how to make simple but hard beats. I see a lot of people going crazy on the FL Studio tutorials on YouTube, so today I'm gonna show y'all how to make simple, dark beats. So let's get right into it. Before we get into the video, bro, y'all know my drum kit is out now, bro. If you ain't got it yet, you're missing out on something. So we're gonna get into the melody first, and then I'm gonna deconstruct the drums. All right, so as y'all can see, I use 5 sounds, bro. We have 150 BPM, 5 sounds. That's it. That's all you need. All right, so for the main melody, I opened up Purity. I went to the fast synth section, and I opened the fat layer preset, and I laid down 3 notes. 3 notes, bro. We in G minor, so I laid down the root notes right here, G, and then I stacked 2 notes on top of it. It's kind of build some tension. I told y'all this plenty of times before. If you want your melodies to sound dark, use like the 1 note gaps, right? So it goes from D to D sharp, and I just stack them on top of each other. So like it creates a very scary sounding melody. So yeah, that by itself sounds like this. So if that ain't simple, bro, I don't know what a simple beat is. So for effects, I didn't go crazy on it too. I just put an EQ on it, cut out the lows, and then I put a Valhalla vintage verb on it. I just turned down the pre-delay a bit, the mix down a bit, and I put a little low cut on it. The reason I like to put the low cut right here is otherwise all the low frequencies will get like muddy with the reverb on it. So yeah, I turned that down to like 30% right here. Yeah, that's basically it for the main melody. All right, next up, I went to Nexus, went to the piano section, and I used the Nexus grand piano. I've used this plenty of times before. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the best pianos for like the low notes. I laid down the root note right here, G minor, and I turned down these top notes a bit. That adds some low end to the melody too. I'm saying, bro, once again, it's dumb simple. Thing with these type of melodies is really sound selection. If I picked some trash sounding sound for the main melody, it wouldn't sound as good as it does right now. Same with the piano. Let's say I used a trash sounding sound, like a horrible sounding sound. This shit wouldn't sound as good as it sounds right now. You feel me? So for these type of beats, you really want to go dumb simple, like super minimalistic with the melody and go crazy on the drums, or go crazy on the melody and like go super simple on the drums. So for the effects on the piano, I just cut out the lows, boosted some of the highs. Next, put the same reverb preset on here. And the reason why I use the same reverb preset on my piano as I use for the main melody, like it will sound like it's being like recorded in the same room, if that makes sense. So next, this is probably the most complicated part of this whole melody. Went to Keyscape. I got the LA Custom Softest, turned off the reverb because I wanted to add my own reverb. And basically, I just played around, clicked some stuff in until something sounded good. So that's what I came up with. So yeah, I really just try to go for like a rhythm, because like the main melody already got like the bounce going. It's hitting on every bar. So then I put like high piano notes to like add a counter melody to it, right? Before the effects on that piano, on the high notes, I cut out the lows once again, cut some of the mids out, and I put a delay on it. And a reverb, of course. I turned the reverb up a bit, so it's a bit more spacious compared to the other ones. But yeah, that way like the high notes really blend into the back, right? So yeah, next I went into my drum kit right here, and I got the tubular bell. And I just laid down a basic tubular bell with some reverb on it. I just cut some of the harsh frequencies out right here, put a delay on it, and once again put a reverb on it. And that by itself sounds like this, compared to this if I put no effects on it. Same with the piano. If I didn't put no effects on it and just left it like it was, a simple melody without any effects, it would sound like this. That don't sound good. With effects. So with simple melodies, you really want to go crazy on the effects. I didn't use too much, but I just added a lot of space to the melody, right? Alright, so lastly, I just wanted to add some low end to the melody, so I went to Omnisphere. I used the growling moog bass right here, one of my favorites. And then I just followed the root note right here, switch it up right here, made it go up, just add some variation. So yeah, I like to add sub basses since they add like a lot to the melody. So with the melody and everything all together, with the sub bass, melody sounds like this. Alright, so when I had that all laid down, I just rendered every single individual sound out and I laid it down, put it into stems and made it into a full loop. So then I put drums under it, so let's get into the drums. Alright, so then I cut up the loop in a new project and I just structured it real quick. So yeah, I just started out with the main melody right here for the intro. And then I made the sub bass come in after like 4 bars. Then it cuts into the same melody, but I just took the sub bass out because the 808 comes in right here. Then after like the second part of the hook, I brought in the high notes of the piano. Then for the verse, took out the main melody, like for the whole verse. Goes back into this, like no high notes. And that really adds like a lot of space to for like an artist to go crazy on a verse. Then it goes into like a little bridge with the sub bass right here. And then, like I said, it just repeats one more time, a hook, verse, bridge, and then like I put like the first 8 bars of the next hook in it as like an outro. So all the sounds I use are from my drum kit as always. So I start out with the 808. So I basically just followed the root notes right here, the G. But I made it go down to D every like 2 bars. It's like the G5 note really, it hits like pretty high for an 808. Compared to like a D5 note. It hits a lot lower. So that sounds a lot better in my opinion. So I made it go down like every 2 bars. And at the end I just made a little roll right here. Pitch this up to D6. And it goes back down to D5 right here. So I just pitched this up one. Yeah, that just adds like a little variation to it. So then I just added a 2-step hi-hat with the snare. Just added some rolls. So like this. So it's really simple. I just started out with the 2-step right here and I just added some notes like under it. I added like the C4 note right here, the low note. Added like an E on every like 2 bars. Then I just start out with the basic roll right here. And that repeats itself right here, the next 2 bars. And then I also added the same roll, but I pitched it down a bit. Same stuff in the next 4 bars. Right here, you got the 1 roll, then it goes down again. But I put this one slightly to the left, so it like comes in earlier, so I can make it go down even more right here. Yeah, that's why I pitched them down, so it adds like some low end to the hi-hats too. And I also pan them out a bit, so it gives some more like room to the hi-hats. So that's how I like to like spice up my hi-hats a bit, instead of just putting a 2-step down. Next, to like fill up open gaps, I put an open hat down. And that's no rocket science too. I just put an open hat on every bar, but I delayed this one. It's supposed to be here, so it hits on every bar, but I just delayed this down, like a little bit, and that gives some tension to it. Instead of the open hat just hitting on every bar, you're kind of like waiting for the open hat to hit again, but it just delays a bit. So that just fills some empty spaces up. Next, I add a little reverse open hat right here. And that really just like fades into the open hat that's hitting on the beginning of every 4 bars. This one right here. And that just like transitions perfectly. Next, I added the no auto perk from my drum kit. Around the same area as the reverse open hat. So I basically just added that in to be able to take it out in like a verse or something, so you like know some stuff is gone. So it's like small accents like these that just make it sound much better. And lastly, for the drums, I just put down a basic snare just to fill up some gaps and just add some bounce to it. So I started out placing some snares right here at the beginning of every like 2 bars. Once again, delayed this one a bit, but it went great to the right. Also added a snare right here just to add even more bounce to it. A little roll right here at the end of like the first 4 bars. Also put that velocity down a bit so it's a bit subtle. And then lastly, I just put a little roll right here. And then once again, I just panned it out a bit. So instead of the snare roll just hitting in the middle, you have it like go around your head a bit. There really ain't no theory about this. It's just playing around till something like matches with the other like frequencies you play around with. So with the hi-hats, for example, I played around with the panning too. You just gotta experiment a little bit and see like whatever works and whatever like makes it sound smooth together. Right? And then lastly, I just added some little effects and transitions right here. from my drum kit too. It's like a little reverse crash. And right here I add a little riser, which like makes it transition into like the verse. Also put like a short transition right here. Go dirkey, go dirkey. To like separate the drums for like the intro right here. So instead of the 808 goes into the sub bass and just transitions nice. Go dirkey, go. It's just small little tweaks and small little changes that you make like throughout the beat that just makes it sound way better at the end. Like all those small changes add up, if that makes sense, and it just sounds way better. So yeah, then lastly, I just added my tag, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much how you make simple but hard beats, bro. So I hope y'all learned something from this video. It's pretty simple, but you really got to get used to the fact that simple beats just work. So make sure to let me know in the comments what y'all want to see next. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the channel, stuff like that. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.